Hello everybody. So it is Tuesday evening at 7, which means I'm making a card on Facebook Live. Let me just get my comments up here so that I can see. And there we go. We are ready to rock. So I pulled out the Wildly Happy stamp set because I saw some things recently made with it and I realized that I have been neglecting it a little bit. So that's the one I pulled out. I pulled out the little elephants and the greeting that I liked. So tiny, so small, so loved by all. And I'm going to make something. I'm not entirely sure what, but I wanted to color these little elephants. So I'm gonna start with that. So I also just recently got the gray granite Stampin Blends. So that is the colors I'm going to use because I needed a reason to unpack them. So I've got those, and if you haven't used Stampin Blends before, you want to do your stamping with either Memento or the regular Stampin' pads, because if you use a StazOn solvent-based ink, it's actually going to, the alcohol markers are going to make it run. So I like to start off by coloring with the dark and going everywhere I want it to be a little bit darker. And I want my mommy elephant to be a little bit darker here. So I'm going to do more on that. You don't have to go right up to the edges, and because it's actually going to fill in a little bit too. I'm going to put my dark down, and then on my baby elephant I'm going to do a little bit less because I want it to be a little lighter. So I'm going to do a little less of that on there, and then I'm just going to scribble around the edges of that dark to kind of blend it in, and you can see it's starting to spread out to my edges. So that's why you don't necessarily want it to be all the way to the edge. The other trick that I've learned is it really helps to have something absorbent underneath. You can see it starts going through, and if you have just like a kitchen table underneath, first of all, you're going to color your kitchen table, but also you're going to end up kind of spreading the ink around from the back. So you're actually going to end up with more spreading versus if you have another sheet of paper behind it that's a bit more absorbent. So if you're having trouble with the ink spreading, that is another tip that I've got for you there. Another reason to use the grid pad, or I should say the grid paper pad. Words are hard. Okay, so I'm almost done the parent elephant here, the adult elephant. Doesn't necessarily need to be a parent, I guess. It could be a non-parental caregiver. How's that for politically correct? And I'm actually going to bring in my smoky slate, I think, for the little one, just to give it a little bit of a different color. And I'm just going to color in a little bit with the smoky slate. And then I'm going to come back to my Stampin' Blends here. There we go. So this is just kind of giving him a slightly cooler tone than the gray granite. The gray granite is such a lovely warm gray, but I want there to be some definition between the adult and the baby elephant here. So bringing in that smoky slate makes it a little on the cooler side. Okay, there we go. Now I want my adult a little darker still. I'm going to add some more of that dark. And you can see that that's still blending in quite nicely, and it's just darkening up some of those little spots that I'm going over. Okay, I'm going to blend it a little bit more with the light too. There we go. Wonderful. Okay. Now I'm going to use the smoky slate just to, this is the light, right? Yeah. Give them something to stand on here. There's some little lines on there, so I'm just kind of following that. All right, oh, I didn't really need to do that. I was actually realized I was going to fussy cut. I know, those dreaded words, fussy cutting. Oh no, you know what? It totally works because I'm going to give it a little bit of room around it. So I found fussy cutting, the easiest thing to do is to go a little bit outside the lines, leave a little bit of a border, and don't try to move your scissors. Move the paper through the scissors, not the scissors through the paper. And not only does that give you a smoother cut, but it just makes the whole process easier. And the reason I'm fussy cutting this instead of just punching it or something like that is that this is actually a reasonably simple shape to fussy cut. So it's not the end of the world. It's not going to take me forever. I don't mind fussy cutting. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I know some people are like, oh, it's so, oh, thanks, Sue. Thanks for watching. I love the blends because they're so easy to color with. I find it does take a little bit of practice, but once you get used to it, it's super quick and easy. I actually don't like the look of like images like this necessarily, like just stamped, especially if it's in colors. If it's in black, I don't mind it. But just in colors, I don't know, it just looks unfinished to me. So I do really like, even if it's just some tone on tone, adding that little bit of color to things, I think makes all the difference. Okay, so that's how quick it was to fussy cut that. I don't find it therapeutic to fussy cut things, but I don't mind cutting things. All right, next step, I'm gonna give them a layer to live on. Hi, Sue. Oh, the two Sues are on. That's hilarious. I have more Sues in my life too, but you two are both on here today. So that was just the starburst punch and some vellum. So you can see the starburst kind of fits behind the elephants without overpowering them. And that was exactly why I chose that. I love that starburst punch. It is one of, if not the single favorite of all my punches. I use it all the time. And if you saw my Christmas Stamp-A-Stack stuff, it features very heavily in that. All right, some dimensionals. I'm gonna pop those little elephants up, and then I'm gonna bring in my card. Bump goes in as always, and then with the bone folder, we're gonna fold that. Now I always like to look for what colors am I using and then find the coordinating ribbon, because everybody loves coordination, right? That's why we're doing this. Hi Grace. Yes, practice makes perfect with fussy cutting. That is for certain. Okay, I'm going to show you another one of my ribbon tricks here. I just need my glue dots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the ends of my ribbon behind my punched shape here, or my layer here. So to do that, I'm going to decide where I want my elephants. I think I'm going to put them down there. Oh, I need to stamp my sentiment too. I'll stamp my sentiment first before I forget. Thanks. Yes, thanks for bringing that in, Sue. So in my parcel was the sponge brayers for class this week, and lots of snail, because I ran out of snail. I'm down to like my last package or two. So I bought a whole bunch of snail, and I bought the sponge brayers for our class this week. So that's what was in the box you brought in. And thank you for the recycling bins too. It was actually quite confusing because I didn't see them out there. I was like, oh, somebody stole them. And then I saw them in front of the garage. I was like, oh, good. Nobody stole my recycling bins. Okay, so I've added a couple glue dots to the back of that ribbon, and then I'm just going to wrap it around the back here. And then a couple more glue dots to attach to the base of my card. All right. And now I'm going to put some more dimensionals on the back here because can't have too many dimensionals. And pop this over top of that join so that you can't see it. We're just going to hide that sucker. It's my favorite thing to do when you mess something up or have, you know, like a little splotch of ink because you got ink on your elbows, like I always do, is just pop some sort of element over top of it, and then you can't see it. So there we go. Now I'm going to do a knot on here. So instead of doing a bow, this is just going to be a simple knot. And to do this, you can take just a scrap of ribbon or the end of your roll of ribbon and slide it underneath what you've got. And I think I'm going to do it on this side. And then you just tie that first knot from when you tie your shoelaces. So an overhand knot. Here, put that over here so you can see it. So it's literally just crossing the ends like that, and then the top end goes underneath, and you pull it tight. That's all it is. And then you can trim your ends. Now, if you wanted to, you could tuck a glue dot underneath there to hold it exactly where you want it. In this case, I don't really have to because it holds it on fairly well. And nothing is ever quite complete without some bling. So I'm going to add a couple rhinestones to this card, and then I'm actually done. It's like the quickest card ever. Yes, Sue, Julian got home safe. He did miss a ferry, but he is home. Me and Leia were both very excited to see him. He was gone for almost 2 weeks. There we go. So that is just a super quick and simple little card. You know what? I'm going to make another one because I can. I'm here. I am going to, which of the other animals should I do? Just looking for my Whisper White cardstock piece that I had here because I'm going to need something to stamp it on. And you guys need to decide which animals I should color in. Thanks, Sue. Sue B. I think it's pretty cute. Oh, I got lots of cardstock over here. Alright, you guys still have to tell me which animal you want me to do. I'm looking for a piece of cardstock here. The bunnies. Okay, let's do the bunnies. I can do the bunnies the same colors. How's that? Nah, I'll do them a different color. Okay. And I'm going to mount these up too because I haven't actually used them yet. So, the little bunnies, I've taken all the backing off of the stamp and the label. And now I'm just going to pop that right on there. And now it's got the label on the back. Okay. Now, where did I put my ink pad? Actually, do these bunnies fit on this scrap? Maybe better scrap to use. Yeah, I'm going to use this scrap. This is a card for a card front, so I don't want to use that. I'm going to use this one here. Okay. Bunnies, 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 bunnies. All right. There's my little bunnies, stamped so cute, and little bunny noses. Now I need to find some colors to use. I was not prepared for this. Let's use crumb cake. So I've got my light and my dark crumb cake, and we're going to make little brown bunnies. I'm going to use my dark again, and I'm going to do just a touch, and then on the little one I'm going to do more this time. Okay, hey Holly, thanks for watching. Use the pen tip, I think, here. So I love that squeak from the markers when you're using the pen tip. Oh, these are my old ones, that's why. These ones are almost dry. I have another crumb cake in here somewhere. Can I use them? That's why that tip was so mangled with my old ones. These ones are working much, much better. So, coloring these little guys in, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to make basically the same card, just with a different little animal. Because these little guys are so cute. I've seen so many cute ideas with them. They're just begging to be colored in. No matter what kind of coloring you like to do, there is great potential in these little animals. I've seen some good, like, not baby cards made with these too. Just the style is very, very adorable. Okay, I'm gonna just because add a little bit of gray granite again to, that's not gray granite, that's the crumb cake again. Gray granite to the grown-up bunny. Again, just to give it a little bit of a different tone. Set it apart from its little baby. Ooh. Pens running away, running away. All right, there we go. Blending that gray granite in. So cute, so cute. I love that little baby bunny. That's so cute. All right, what did I do with my scissors? They are over here. Alrighty, and same thing again. We're gonna give it a little bit of a border and cut around. This time I didn't give them that floor to sit on, so it's gonna be a little bit different, but I don't think it'll even be noticeable. These ones with the ears have a little bit more of that pokey outy pieces that can be finicky to trim around, but that same technique of moving the paper through the scissors still works, and you get that nice smooth cut. I usually like to kind of go off, and then makes it easier to handle than using a giant piece of cardstock. Nice pointy little bunny ears. I know, isn't it adorable? I don't know which one of the animals is my favorite. I love the little foxes too. And the panda bears are so cute. I've seen them just all colored brown too. They look just like any other bear. We saw a bear the other day. That was fun. Thought it was a big dog at first. And then I realized, no, that's a bear. And my dog is like nose to it. But she came back because she's a very good girl. Okay. Dimensionals. And I'm going to use a different ribbon on this one too. Because I can. There we go. And then I guess I need another card base. Luckily, I have stacks and stacks of card bases ready to go. Okay. Now, which one of the greetings should I do with this one? Sweetest baby, how about that? Okay. I'm not going to put the label on the back of this one in the interest of time. And ink. And then we're going to put this on the other side. Give ourselves some variety here. Okay. Now, the ribbon that I want to use with this is the braided linen thread. I love this stuff. So it's very similar to the linen thread, but, oh, where am I glued? Let's go. It's kind of this braided. And then we're gonna put these little nuggets are gonna go over here. And then clip that. What I like about these cards too is with the ribbon going all the way around, you automatically have a bit of decoration on the inside too. So it's not just on the outside. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, some more dimensionals. And we're going to cover up our seam. There we go. So now with this one, I could do that same thing again, but I'm actually going to make a bow this time. Now when you're making bows on a standing piece like this, there's actually two different ways of doing it. And they start out the same way. So you do that overhand knot that we did in the other one. And then see how this, they come out on one side or the other? A lot of people do this wrong when they're tying their shoelaces. If you go across so that those tail pieces cross the knot when they come out, if that makes sense, your bow will be across your standing ribbon. And so that's actually a granny knot. So those, when you tie them in your shoelaces, those are the ones that slip open all the time. And then if you do it the other way, then that bow, oh, I did it the wrong way again. Or I mean the right way, if that's what you're looking for. And if you follow the same pattern, the same directions that those go, your bow will go the same direction. So I actually wanted it to sit across. And then it sits there just like that. Just two different ways of tying the bow, depending on which way you want it to sit. But always tie it so that on your shoelaces it goes straight across, because otherwise your shoelaces are going to fall off. This one I am going to slip a glue dot underneath just because it's a little slidey because of the thinner ribbon. There we go. All right. And we'll do the same thing again. A few little rhinestones. There we go, a different version of the same card. I am going to call that quits, so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I gave you some inspiration to make some cards with this set or just with your blends in general. If you need to get any of these supplies, you can go to thecraftymedic.com, place your order there. Make sure you use the host code that's on the right-hand side, and you'll get some extra little goodies from me. Happy stamping! Bye!